photoshopping models?
Okay, photoshopping models. Basically, the fashion industry is basically trying to sell a product at the end of the day. So, the fact that they're manipulating sort of basically young people is because they think it's a certain aesthetic that will sell, and it kind of does prove to sell because we consume magazines that contain these kind of Photoshop images. And until people kind of make a fuss about it and protest about it, they're just going to keep doing it and thinking it's acceptable. But I think it's actually quite morally wrong and demoralising to young people because they get false body expectations, and then you get the kind of results of that. So, you know, bulimic students, all kinds of sort of things that kind of go on from that. So I think it's wrong, but I don't think anything's going to change unless we, the people, change that kind of industry.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm along the same lines. I think, yeah, it's morally wrong, and I mean, someone should just be accepted for who they are. And also sometimes you might see an image of someone at one stage, and then later down the track, you might see another one, and then the viewer.
We're going to show you a video of a Dove campaign, and then we're going to ask you about your views on it.
Okay, folks, so grade 5 please, camera's rolling, and we're recording sound. It's slated. Sounds great.
Advertisement, and what are like your views on it, like your opinions?
Yeah, I guess what that video just showed, just how much work does actually go into changing someone's real appearance. I mean, if someone's going for an interview, I'm not completely against just like a little bit of, I guess, you know, something to your hair, a little bit of makeup, but that video just showed how much work actually went to extreme, and then it's being posted on a billboard to sort of target a larger audience, so
yeah.
You can't really see anything improving if something like that's being promoted to that sort of large scale.
I think everything that we see kind of around us, even on things like Twitter and Instagram, are all kind of faked, and I don't think people are aware of the extent of the problem. I don't think the celebrity culture that we have going on globally now, I shouldn't say just in the country, globally, is a massive issue. Celebrities kind of use apps and things like that to Photoshop their own
girls
images.
And boys as well using apps now to like whiten their teeth and airbrush their faces.
That's
too.
it. And it's so easily accessible, and the cost is massive on their kind of self-esteem, I guess, as a result of that. So, you know, it doesn't surprise me that a lot of everything that you see out there is kind of faked almost, but it's wrong basically. It's not real body image, and I think actually these campaigns are really important, and I think they need to be more highlighted in things like schools and stuff like
definitely.
So as a male, do you think it's unfair that women are being shown in such a unrealistic light?
Yeah, it is unfair. I think you know, they should be presented for who they are, and at the end of the day it should be their choice to sort of show how they want to be presented, and not someone's ideas, or, you know, someone to create a different person for who they really are. And I guess as a viewer, you never really sometimes understand how they might feel as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it should really be them who makes it, like the individual who makes the choice of how they want to be perceived to the public, and not anything got to do with Photoshop or editing.
Do you think false advertisement can affect the way people see themselves, and how do you think this makes young ladies feel, and do you think it can really lead to unreal body expectations?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. You get it all the time. So some of my Year 11 girls actually are very kind of, they don't like to say they're insecure, but they are very insecure, you know. They're very want to put on all the makeup and things like that.
Yeah.
And it's, you know what, it's a horrible thing to say, but it's really sad, actually, seeing them going through that and feeling like they have to kind of give themselves a false, a certain aesthetic that they think is going to be appealing, and they don't need to do it. Do you know what I mean? They've got young, beautiful skin. If only I had their skin like now. Do you know what I mean? So, and I think that is definitely a reflection of what is surrounding them and creating these insecurities. And also pressurising each other as a result is quite ugly, you know, they feel pressured from their own peers.
If your whole friendship group starting to wear lots of makeup, you're going to feel obliged to do the same.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, so along the same lines as Miss, you know, I think the media's, in some ways the media's really sort of pressurised them as well to sort of change who they are. I sort of did come from a small town where guys and girls just took it for who they were, and they didn't really try and change who they were. But you know, they're being pressured to be someone who they aren't, and I wouldn't take that approach, and I don't think.
Do you think that's an issue then? Sorry, just to ask a question. That depending on where you grow up as well might have an influence on that as well. Because I'm from a small town as well, and I think actually thinking back to my childhood, there were the kind of, the majority weren't like that. There were obviously some, because obviously in all cultures some people are going to be influenced by what they see, but actually coming from a small town, I don't think that many of the people in my school here at school probably were as influenced.
I feel like we're exposed here because we live in such a big city, and as you said, like, I feel like, I can't explain, here there's loads of young girls who are exposed to like, because we get like a lot of celebrities here and a lot of media focusing here, whereas like small towns you don't, and I feel like that exposes like the young girls.
Yeah, I guess our town, the town I grew up in, I mean, you get like magazines and you read about you know, all this type of stuff, but you don't get it. Our town wasn't really reflected for like, nightlife or sort of, you know, Hollywood stars coming over and doing photo shoots or anything like this. So I think in that sense, people weren't really, I guess, influenced that way.
Yeah, because I mean, I think like London can be perceived as quite a glamorous place, so people feel the need to dress up and look this certain way to maybe fit in into like the culture.
Miss, as a female, does the whole perception of like body image, how the media portray it, does it make you feel insecure, like in some aspects?
I guess so, yeah, to a certain extent. I think I'd be lying if I didn't say I felt kind of pressure to kind of be a certain way. I think certainly, definitely when I was younger, not so much now because I'm a bit older and I just don't care as much. But I also have a better understanding of it because I work in media. Do you know what I mean? So I'm aware of how Photoshop works. I know how to use the program. I could make myself look like 10 times thinner than I am now if I wanted to. I don't choose to because
it's unrealistic.
Yeah, definitely. But I'm aware of the dangers, I think, and I think anyone who says they wouldn't feel pressured would be lying, I think. Things like the Oscars, do you know what I mean, that has just been on. I look at all the women and I'm just like, I'd love to be able to like just, you know, be glamorous, but what you don't see is that for probably a few months they've been, you know, not eating very much, not happy. They've got a personal chef, they've got a personal trainer, they've got someone who will look after their 10 million children, you know, they get a free dress, they get hair and makeup done, and then that whole actual day before the ceremony, they will have been prepped for hair and makeup. So it's totally unrealistic, but you just think, oh, they look nice in a pretty dress. So I think even that is kind of a false sense of or what people misconceive is
Yeah.
going on in the world. Yeah.
Do you think that this can lead women to eating disorders, and not just photoshopping but catwalks too? How the ladies are like, they're like size 4s, size 2s, some size 6s if you're really pushing it. But do you feel like that whole idea can lead people to eating disorders?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think people, it's without a doubt people are going to have eating disorders
Yeah.
in that industry. It makes me laugh actually, these stories where they're like, oh, I just eat about 10 hamburgers a day. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, okay, I can believe that some people have got a good metabolism, but I'm sorry, that's just,
Yeah.
that's so
Do you
unrealistic.
think it can lead like people like me and Lulu to eating disorders, like young girls?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, because you're easily influenced at this
Yeah.
age, do you know what I mean? I think you're now coming out of that bit because you're becoming a young adult and
Yeah.
you're kind of wise to that. But I think there are members of, school, younger, vulnerable kids who are going to be definitely massively influenced by that. And it happens all the time, quite a lot, to a scary degree. Do you know what I mean? People go through that, and I don't think people are aware of how many people kind
Yeah,
of have
my-
these eating disorders.
My friend at work, she was about a size 14, 16, and she lost quite a lot of weight just through exercising, and she got one good compliment from someone saying, oh, like, you've lost a lot of weight, you look good. And ever since that compliment, she's been trying to lose even more weight, and she actually became anorexic, and she just went down from a size 14, 16 to a size 6. And I mean, she's happy with her weight now, but she's going back to the way she was just because she's still looking through magazines at models and celebrities, and she wants this idealistic, unrealistic look. But she's not going to attain it, because if she loses any more weight, she'll become like ill.
Yeah.
Because of it.
It's horrible, the effects of that as well, because so many people die of it as well, and it's not. This is the other thing as well. There's such a kind of big issue about weight, really.
Yeah.
Like, you are told that you're too fat, or you're too thin, or whatever. And no one kind of really celebrates the kind of average size. Do you know what I mean? And no one's actually really aware of the average size. And I think the other problem is you've got things like BMI, which I'm not totally against. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think they are. I think it's kind of averaged out. I think the people are different body sizes, and so people get hung up on different things like, my thighs are too big or whatever, but, there is a reason for that. You're just made genetically like that. You may have big thighs for the rest of your life, so what, get over it. But, yeah, obviously when your tunnel vision is like that, you can't easily snap out of it. One of my friends, she has got body dysmorphia, so she always sees herself as larger, but actually she's really quite thin, and can be extremely thin at sometimes, and has had problems where she's bulimic. And it's a horrible illness, and it is an illness of the mind, basically, and it's having to get the right therapy and things like that, and I don't think that's always readily available to young people, and it's going to become more and more common, I think, if the way things go on continues.
Yeah, and you've done, especially if you want to try and change yourself to be someone else, try and, make a career or go somewhere, and that all falls out of place. How are you going to feel? You're going to feel, you're going to lose confidence, and you've sort of done all that work for nothing.
So nowadays we have like models like Cara Delevingne and Kendall, and clearly they're not like the average size of what should be normal in a sense. So do you think that the model industry should introduce more average size?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Walks as well.
Yeah, it should be more diverse, basically. It's not at the moment, it's just tiny people syndrome. Like, I mean, they literally, like, who was it? I think it was my mum, or someone I knew quite a few years ago, spotted Angelina Jolie. She's not even a model, right? She's just an actress or whatever, but, and basically she was like, oh my god, she has got a lollipop head. And that is what they literally look like, because there's nothing of them, and then they've got these enormous heads. But then you've got magazines like Vogue, I think it was Vogue, that there was a model that with a checkered shirt and they had basically chopped her in half essentially in the magazine, and you could see the before and afterwards image, and it was horrifying actually how much they
it's not appealing, is it?
No.
You see a catwalk, and they're coming forward and they've got like their bones are literally like sticking out. It's not, because it's almost like they are promoting eating disorders.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not promoting the clothes, they're promoting illnesses.
Yeah, definitely. I think more needs to be done about that, and I think, but then at the same time, I think with kind of the fact that we're kind of in an obesity crisis as well, I think you can't have two obese models as well at the same time, because that's also unhealthy. So you do need your plus size models, I think, on the catwalk, because that's, you know, but not obviously too plus size. But I think it needs to be more representative of society, and I don't think it is. You know. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit of an issue, especially when this stuff is making so like the front headlines of newspapers, and
definitely.
I mean, and that's always going to be accessible to, you know, a younger generation and want to make it, you know, want to change themselves to be like that. So maybe there should be slightly less, I don't know, media coverage or media promotion in that sort of sense.
Yeah, no, definitely. And the last question is, what do you think the average UK size is for a woman?
Now, this is a hard one, because I thought it was for the size 14.
Yeah.
But then, like, recently they changed it to a 12, I think. So no, it's a 14. Is it? Okay. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not too sure, but I would say.
I definitely think it's a 14. Basically, it's a normal size for me.
Yeah.
But I know that in things that I've read that they were debating there was a size 12, and I just think that's again, it's the industry trying to manipulate audiences.
I remember it was a Calvin Klein campaign just a few weeks ago, and for the plus size models, it literally looked like the lady was a size 10, not even that, about size 8, 10, and that was a plus size, and there was nothing of her still, and I just think that's ridiculous. What do you think the average UK size?
Actually.
Yeah.
I don't know. So like, I guess Masbury, would that be slightly bigger? I guess. To be honest, I'm not too sure. I'd say, I don't know if I'd classify myself as being average size, maybe slightly less, but God, to be honest, I'm not 100% certain.
Okay,
Yeah.
no, it's fine.
So, Anne Harrod, what are your opinions on photoshopping models?
So I don't agree with it. I don't think it's right, because I think it gives young women and even men like the wrong perception and the idea that they should look like them, but obviously it's not very realistic, so I don't think it's fair to edit it and then put it up for the world to see and then make children and teenagers feel like they should look like it as well.
I'm going to show you a video from the brand Dove. They've got a campaign about self-esteem. So, So, from watching this video, do you think this is false advertisement?
I definitely think it is false advertisement because she doesn't actually look like that, and I think it was a lot more than the foundation that made her look like that. So to say like the foundation will make you look like this definitely is false and will make girls think that they go out and buy the product that they'll look like that. And obviously they've also edited it a lot on Photoshop, which is obviously false advertisement because they edited the way that her neck looks and her hair. So yeah, I'd say it definitely was.
Do you think false advertising can affect the way women see themselves, and how do you think this makes young women feel?
I think it definitely can affect like the way that we see ourselves, because I think we're constantly trying to be like the people that we see on advertisements such as that, and we can't do it because obviously we're not going to edit every single picture that we put up, or we can't actually edit ourselves to look like that because that's not the way our body is. So I definitely think it makes us insecure and affects the way that we feel because we can't be like that, so we feel kind of gutted that we can't do it.
Yeah. Does this make you feel insecure about your appearance?
I think it definitely does. Not the way that she looked before, but I think the fact that they edit it a lot and then you see it everywhere and you kind of think that that's what a normal pretty, what is perceived as pretty girl would look like, but obviously it's not because it's not really like that.
Do you think that this can lead to young women getting an eating disorder?
I think it definitely can, because I think young girls want to be skinny and they want to look like the people do on magazines and billboards, but obviously they're edited by Photoshop to look skinny and to have the body type that the people who they're like advertising their brand for want them to look like, so they will edit it. So I think it definitely can lead to eating disorders because you're trying to do it naturally, but the way the women look obviously isn't naturally, whether it be through surgery or through their editing.
I agree. Also, like now social media is like the most popular way of sharing pictures and things like that. Like you'll obviously get on like Twitter advertisement of like things such as what we've just watched, and because everyone's seeing it all the time, it's constantly being like shown everywhere. People get insecure, and some people when they get insecure they can like kind of rebel and like are rude. So like for instance, there could be someone famous who's going through a tough time, like someone could have passed away or whatever, so they're normally seen to be like this perfect curvy body, and then because they've gone through such a bad time they're gaining weight, they're not looking as good as they're normally seen to be, and then there'll be people online who will comment on the picture and be like, why do they look like this, they're fat, they're this, that and the other. So it doesn't just affect like everyday sort of people, it affects celebrities as well, but obviously because you don't see what happens behind like social media, like for them they're reading it and it's just not good. Are catwalks models such as like Cara Delevingne or Kendall Jenner a true reflection of the average body size, or do you think catwalks should provide a more diverse range of sizes?
I think they represent women because obviously they are, and they're obviously quite young, so, and I don't think they've had a lot of surgery done, but I definitely think in the catwalk world, like there should definitely be more of a diverse body type because it's really tall and skinny, and I don't think that represents like most women across the world. I think there should definitely be shorter, kind of curvier models who are able to walk on the catwalks because at the moment they're not.
Yeah, I agree. Also, like now they're starting to introduce like more sort of, they say plus size, but it's not generally plus size. Like for them they think a plus size is like a 12, which is not. That's seen to be like quite average. So I mean, it's good that they're now starting to introduce that, and you see it on like websites such as like ASOS. They've got like a curvy section, but I feel like it should be more. There should be more plus sizes. If you know what I mean.
Definitely.
Going back to saying how they think like a size 12 is sort of average. What do you think like the UK size, like the average size is?
I'd say like 12, 14. Because I think there is obviously a lot of skinnier women and a lot of big women, but I think a lot of the women are just in the in-between, so they're not super skinny and slender, and then most people aren't massive, so I think you have to, I'd definitely say like 12, 14 as the average size.
Yeah, I agree. Also, like, some people, they could be, like some people, unfortunately, they could be born just like to be really skinny, like their bones and whatever. So, but they want to be like bigger, whereas in some, and then vice versa. Some people are bigger and they want to be smaller, but it's just like a lot of the time, everyone says, oh, you have to be skinny, you have to be slim, blah blah blah. But that's not the case. Like, it's better for everyone to be just themselves and individuals.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah. Well, thank you for letting me interview you.
What are your opinions on photoshopping models?
I think it's bad because the clothes that we want to buy are sold on women's bodies that don't actually reflect our own bodies most of the time because they've been photoshopped.
We're going to show you a Dove campaign, and then we're going to ask you some questions about it. Do you think this is false advertisement, and what are your opinions on the video?
It's definitely false advertisement. No, well, the advertisement is really good because it's illustrating what happens behind the image. But I think that's been shown like on social media, but it's never really shown with campaigns for like modelling and stuff. To show,
if it was promoted more to show young girls that this isn't actually what the models look like, it's all editing.
Do you think false advertisement can affect the way women see themselves? So like, this was like a clear example, like they put up in the billboard.
Like,
do you think
does it make you feel a bit insecure, or feel like you have to attain that look that she's got? Like, do you feel like you have to feel like you have to look airbrushed and put makeup on and have your style your hair in a certain way to achieve that goal?
Yeah, I mean, if you're not strong enough to be able to walk out the house and feel confident in yourself without having to layer on different things. Although wearing makeup is fine, it's your choice.
Yeah.
But I think it's
looking a certain way.
Yeah, definitely.
Young girls being more influenced to look that way.
So do you feel like when you see models and celebrities, do you feel like you need to wear makeup to kind of not fit in but almost look like them, or to feel good about yourselves?
I think a lot of young girls feel like that, I think.
Yeah, especially with all the contouring that's going on now. And
they like to follow the trend instead of looking exactly like them.
Yeah.
And it's also all you ever see, so like when you're scrolling down Instagram and stuff, you only ever see the same
you don't really see a girl now. Well, I mean, you do now and then, but these days you see like tutorials for contours rather than like a natural look, don't you?
Yeah.
It's all fake, and it's not what they actually look like underneath all the makeup.
Do you think catwalk models should be a variety of sizes? So most of them are like size 2.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
What are your opinions on catwalk size, like the sizes on the catwalks right now?
Definitely.
What are your opinions on catwalk size, like the sizes on the catwalks right now?
I think it's all wrong, really. I think the modelling industry as a whole is wrong. I mean, modelling isn't wrong because we need to sell products on.
Yeah, it's getting better. There are plus sizes now, but
the idea of being sold
very
clothes
slow
by someone
process.
who's so much smaller than the average woman as well.
Are catwalk sizes such as Cara Delevingne and Kendall Jenner a true reflection of the average body size? And what do you think the average UK size is?
10 or 12, yeah.
Really?
But it's bigger, isn't it?
Yeah, I've heard
8 to 10.
Yeah.
I thought it
think
was
it's
10.
not.
I think it's actually bigger.
Because that's most of the sizes
I
are
think
like
it's
sold out.
around a size 14. Because
Oh.
plus sizes these days are size 18. No, not even 8.
16.
Yeah.
I thought plus sizes were size 18, but no, a size 2 to 6 is small, to an 8, and size.
I don't even know you can
I
get size
don't-
2 sometimes. Like, I didn't even
Yeah,
know.
no,
I thought size 4 was the
in
smallest.
America they have a size 0.
Oh.
Yeah, up to like a size 12, it's quite small. I'd say maybe 12, 14 would be the
Yeah.
average. Like, but I personally don't think. I think being a size 12 or 14 is still small. Yeah. But thank you for letting us interview you.